If you ever want to know what popcorn sounded like. Good evening. It's Wednesday at 9 p.m. This is the Whatnot Podcast. I'm Mike Z.
I'm Chris. What not? We're here, believe it or not, or
And today,
whatever.
Today we're joined with Chris of a different spelling, so this should be nice and confusing.
I guess we'll have to come up with some kind of code. K-Ris or C-Ris. Let's have a chat.
A lot of people just call me Kirch.
Kirch.
Yeah.
We could probably get away with that.
I'll mispronounce it.
Sounds good.
What do we have here? Oh, we have Mr. Connor's daddy. He is here and accounted for. And he says, I bet you still haven't watched the beginning of Game of Thrones and compared the intro. I haven't. No. It's on the list of things to do on a Sunday eventually. So,
like I said, just go find the intro and that's it. Just you don't have to watch anything else. Just stop there.
All right. Yeah, that'd be fine with me.
It is a good intro. I will say that.
Thanks, sir. Chris did all the work. I just have to change the episode number, 5 minutes before we go live. That's how this works.
Yeah, see, it used to be weekly. He would have some new recipe Easter egged in there somewhere, but time escapes him. So
they're still in there. If you ever pay attention to the train station, I always put them in. There's one on the left and one on the right as it's flowing through. So it's hard to see, but if you pause it, you'll see it. My favorite, and the reason I started that was because of Mr. Kyle Ely. He had, of course, you've heard of him with learnyourcnc.com. But with Kyle, I put in there that CNC isn't real woodworking, like grow a pair or something like that. So I was just having fun with it. And then ever since then, everyone's gotten one.
Nice.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can type. I see someone's already hit the shine. Good evening, Kyle. There he is. Speak of the devil.
Yeah.
So Chris with a C has disappeared for a moment. But while he's gone,
I'll be back momentarily, says the voice with a shadow echoing.
Let's talk about him while he's not here. So, Kirch. There we go. We'll go with that. So tell us about the Tinkir Workshop. How did you get started in this field? How did you start producing content and making things for people? Because there's a lot of things that you do.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I've, like a lot of people, I've kind of tinkered most of my life. But probably more recently when I moved up to Virginia in 2011, I started working for Busch Gardens. So that was kind of when I got my first taste of CNC work and kind of coming up with crazy things and doing all sorts of projects. So after leaving there, I was like, I've got to keep this going. Bought an X-Carve at the time, and just did what I could. And now, like I kind of came up with a little slogan for myself was, "We make crazy possible," because I just love crazy ideas and kind of bringing them to life. So you'll see from all my content, there's rarely the same thing twice. There's always some sort of variety, which I mean is a blessing and a curse. Sometimes it's hard to kind of nail down exactly what I do, but it also leaves the door open for just about anything. I'm kind of a open door when it comes to fun ideas and seeing what we can do. So,
and I kind of like that's the reason why it's the Tinkir Workshop, because everything is possible.
Yeah, originally when I was coming up with the name, you kind of go Tinker Wood Shop or, wood crafting or something like that. And I didn't want to kind of pigeonhole myself just into that one genre of stuff because there's a lot that I can do. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Kris, welcome back.
Hey, I was so good, I wanted to come back in and see it a second time.
That makes editing so much easier. I want to appreciate you for that.
I am here to help.
John, good evening. John and Michelle, if Michelle's watching. Bathroom banter. Not quite sure. Missed something there. But hey, yes, the best theme park. Never been. Never been. I was always a King's Dominion kid.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I've lived here since 2011. I've yet to go to King's Dominion.
Oh, don't go in August. I can tell you that. It's the only time we ever seemed to go. But back in the day, my family worked for IBM and they would have a King's Dominion day. So that's the only reason we ever went. But I'll never forget the one year where it was August. It was hot. Everyone was miserable. It was like, why do we even bother? But then a thunderstorm came and all the water rides were empty. So it was like, that's all we did. Yeah. Quality entertainment.
Nice.
But at Busch Gardens, what did you do that had you into the CNCs and everything?
So I originally started there in fireworks. I did a couple of their nightly fireworks shows and was just a basic technician, kind of worked my way up into the special effects department and became a special effects supervisor. They had just bought a brand new 4x8 CNC, gorgeous. It was still shrink wrapped when I kind of came on board, and nobody knew how to use it. I had interest in CNC, and just kind of they let me have full reign of it. They're like, "Go ahead, figure it out," So
cool.
they bought it with no idea of how to operate it. And then, we went from just doing some like basic signage to I was building custom costume pieces and just all sorts of set design. I mean, we did giant like brick walls. Like they rethemed an entire section of the park in this like old brick, and I routed it all out of foam and made it kind of all interlocked together so you never saw seams, and it was quite crazy. I got to do a lot of fun stuff with that.
That is cool. So I do have a picture of the fireworkness. Is this there?
No, this was actually 2 years ago. No, 3.
Okay.
This was 2019. That is in Newport News, Virginia. That was our 4th of July show. So I freelance for a fireworks company. So I professionally do fireworks on the side. So I'm the crew lead for, this is one of 3 shows that I do over 4th of July weekend.
So you do 3 shows 4th of July weekend?
Yeah, so we've got one on the 3rd and then 2 on the 4th. And we split up the crew, and that show right there, that barge show, is about a half hour long. And I'm on that barge, maybe like 15, 20 feet back is where I'm shooting from.
Okay. So I always wondered how you could see in the dark other than letting the fireworks light it up for you if there was an issue. But now I see it's an LED headlamp.
Giant headlamp, yeah.
And the pirate flag, just curious, just for fun.
So the year prior, we had one of my guys on the crew brought the pirate flag out, and somebody got a little upset about it, so they took it down, and we ended up getting stormed out. So now we kind of made it a hard and fast rule that pirate flag goes up, and we have a good show.
There you go. Now it's a good luck
charm. It's been tradition since, yeah.
Cool.
That's fun.
Sympathize with Busch Gardens. In fact, I bought it and don't know how to use it. Oh, yeah, we have. So they'll be eventually on that one. And yeah, the Demolition Man. There you go. You really should bring 3 seashells on the boat with you next time. That would be hilarious.
There you go.
All right. Let's see how. Okay, so I'm curious as that because there's a lot of branding irons.
Mm-hmm.
So is that CNC related?
It is, yes. Um, that honestly started, as most things do, started as an accident. Um, I was doing guitar templates at the time, and I was like, man, this would be a great thing to have my name on as it's going out the door. Um, so actually started doing that. I was milling branding irons on my X card, which, if you know anything about them, they are not very rigid, not very reliable. But I was doing it, and I built my first one. Excuse me, on my X carve and just shared that I was doing it. And from there, people kind of got interested, and started making them. I had for a little while teamed up with another guy, and he kind of was selling them as I was cutting them out, shipping them out. But I'm back to just doing it myself now, and that's kind of turned into. I've done a few stamps for doing texture in glass for a local glass artist, and then just started doing one as a wax stamp. So all the same stuff, just different mediums that they're getting pressed into. So,
But it's all still like brass?
it's all brass. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Something new I want to try.
I can
Is there
help
a
you out.
special bit? Is there a special bit you would use for brass versus regular wood or something?
Oh yeah. So I'm using a single flute upcut, either eighth inch or 16th inch, to clear out most of the material, and then I use a 60-degree split V. So it's a V bit at that 60-degree angle, but when you turn it on its side, it's half of the bit is cut out to help clear chips. I got that from Cleveland Bit Company. They were the ones that kind of guided me through that. I had actually done a workbench con with them, so that's kind of how I got hooked up with them, and they're really great guys. So, um, yeah, that stuff. I mean, I'll plow through brass at 45, 50 inches a minute on my machine, and it just takes a beating and keeps on going. So,
That's cool. I wonder if Amanda
yeah.
has anything like that because Mr. Chris Miller says Cedar Point, baby.
It's been a while since I've been to Cedar Point. A long time. Probably when I was a kid.
What is it? 'Cause I don't know Cedar
It's an
Point.
amusement park. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
My gosh, they're everywhere.
they are.
I think that one's in Ohio, isn't it? Cedar Point.
I think so.
So let's
But
see.
yeah, I think I've seen Amana have them. Um, I've just had these for a while. They're also double sided. So they're about the same cost that I've seen for single sided bits, and yeah, you obviously get twice the life out of it. So that's really nice.
Yeah, it is. Let's see. So is this turning?
This is not turning. This is probably one of the first 3D things that I designed. Um, I can't remember if I did this in Fusion. This was a while ago. I made that for my dad. And then I milled it on the CNC out of some wormy maple that I had left over.
Yeah. So if you're listening at home, it's a large, looks like a salsa and chip bowl. But it's got pistachios in it, and apparently someone's had some.
Yeah.
Got to have a used shell area.
Yeah, my dad loves pistachios, and I was like, oh, this would be a cool idea. I've never seen anything like this, so I came up with that.
Well, what do you know? There's something in Sandusky, Ohio, but other than Tommy Boy. Every time I hear Sandusky, it's the first thing I think of is Callahan brake parts.
Yep.
I knew that's where you were going to go.
Absolutely. I am the fat guy in this little jacket. What is the depth per pass with brass? Asked John.
Um, I think I'm taking. I think I'm taking about 40, between 20 and 40 thousandths per pass. with the clearing bits, with my 1/8 inch or my 16th, with the V bit. So my final depth is about 60 thou, and I can do that in one pass.
Sweet.
It's pretty awesome, and that's on. I'm running a Axiom CNC, so as long as you got something nice and rigid, you shouldn't have a problem with that. Now, I 3D printed a little chip fan that slides onto the collet, so that helps clear chips out too.
And you want to clear those out when they're metal, other
Yeah,
than wood. Yeah. So
yeah.
which Axiom do you have?
I have the AR8 Pro. This is Kris and I were talking a little earlier. I think it's about 3 versions from
Hmm.
current. Um, but still the liquid cooled spindle. I've got the laser for it. It can take the 4th axis. I don't have one because they're pricey, and I'm cheap.
Uh, and it really only has certain functions. If you get yourself into that field, that's cool. But at the same time,
Yeah, I thought about what if I were to get it, what would I use it for? Would it fit into the types of projects that I do? And it didn't really match up anything. It would really just be a kind of a fun novelty for me, which I honestly thought the laser would be a fun novelty, and it's actually been way more useful than I thought.
Yeah, the only way I would probably be very interested in a 4th axis is if I had a couple grand and went and bought a 3D camera and could
Mm,
take 3D images of projects and then throw them on the rotary and watch them transform.
yeah, I mean, probably the most common thing that I've seen is people that do like high-end furniture or remodels, and they're making like you know railing parts and
Mhm.
custom furniture legs and stuff like that. It's just not something I'm interested in.
something 100 years ago, someone had to do by hand for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is Connor's daddy is his machine's older than yours, which means you could do this too.
there you go. Yeah, and I mean, yes, I make branding irons. Yes, that's something that I do and sell. But I mean, I'm a pretty open book. Like if anybody has questions, I'm very happy to help people out and do whatever it is that they want to do. I don't feel like I have like a lock on that market. So
And don't give away your secrets. So what is this here? This looks like maple.
yep. This was something that I did for a local guy that was making a display box for some military members. I did not design this, but I did cut it out. There's actually a really, really awesome site, and I've got it bookmarked somewhere. But they have 3D models of just about every military branch, insignia, shield, whatever it is that you can think of. Prices were fairly reasonable, maybe like $15, $20 for a 3D model. Threw that in VCarve Pro and went to town on it. Yeah, they came out really good.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't even look like you need much sanding. That's clean.
Yeah, cleared all that with flat end mills, and then went back over with a ball. Probably could have gotten better detail with a tapered end mill, but I don't have any.
We know a guy. Well, I did look at this one for the CNC, but there looks like guitar
Hmm.
parts on here.
Yeah, these were custom templates that I did for someone. I've done. I don't know that. I don't think these were for Walsh now. I've done a lot of stuff for Walsh Guitars. He's been a fantastic guy to work with. And this is honestly, guitar templates is what got me my start because I had always wanted to build a guitar. And I mean, I play. It's so that was kind of what started my CNC journey once I left Bush. Was doing that and with actually. look, where is it? That one I built. That one
Cool.
I did on the
Nice.
CNC, which was super, super fun to do.
Absolutely. That's one day down the road for me, building a guitar.
Yeah.
I got to learn how to play first.
It's satisfying. I mean, once it's done, um, yeah, being able to play it. I mean, you got to be able to do that.
But I got to build it first in order to be able to play it, right? And it's kind of like a chicken and the egg scenario.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Okay, so we do have these boxes, and these boxes you created the inlays.
I did. The top portions there with the A and the S were sent to me along with the matching wood. So I did V-carve inlays on both of those. I wish I made those boxes, the whole box, because it was absolutely gorgeous work. But I can at least claim that I did the inlays on those.
And the grain matches. I mean, as far as the species, so it looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's anything would draw your attention away from the beautiful wood, it would be the beautiful inlays on top of the box.
Mm-hmm.
You're so funny. But let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
Where was the stress level and the nerves on cutting that right?
It's pretty high, because I mean, anytime a client sends me the wood, they're very specific. That was all, he had that all cut out, already perfectly sized for that box. So I really only had one shot to do it. Usually I'll grab some scrap, um, just some plywood or something that I've got laying around, and I'll run it first. I'll run both sides, make sure everything's locking in real good before I actually get it up there, and then double triple check that I've set my origin correct. I've definitely set my Z height correct. Everything is matching up, and then go for it. I get a little overly compulsive about that, but it pays off in the end.
Well, yeah, because once something goes wrong, the machine doesn't know any better.
Exactly.
And if you
I've had
forget,
that
it's
happen.
epic boo boo.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they call it, because Kris had
I
the
was
collet slip
engraving
going.
oh yeah, I've had that happen. That's no fun. Yeah, I was engraving a large live edge slab. Uh, Thank goodness it was probably 3 or 4 inches thick, and I screwed up the inlay on that, but I was able to still surface it down and salvage it and redo it. So that thankful for that. But it happens. You learn. You stay honest with the client and keep on going.
There you go. So it became a 3/4 inch tabletop.
I had a client one time want me to use his lumber to do his project, and when he showed up at my house with the lumber, it had been cut like the week or two prior. And I'm like, I can't use this wood to build your piece, because part of this is going to be 1/4 inch thick, and by the time it cuts out, it's going to be a horseshoe before it even gets back to the table.
Yep. See me in a year.
Well, he thought I was trying to sell him on upsell him and getting, when I said, look, here's the deal.
Right.
Trust me. And then he finally researched it and he called me back. He said, look, just go buy what you need and let's move forward. So
that's good.
Part of customer relations and education.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I encouraged him to go home and research what happens with wet wood when it's cut into thin strips
before it's properly
doesn't play
seasoned.
nice.
It doesn't. And so, okay, a guitar part, obviously. It looks like pick guard.
It's a pick guard for a bass guitar. This was actually for a buddy of mine. He couldn't find a replacement pick guard in the color that he wanted, so he got a blank. And I reverse engineered it to make it match for guitar specifically. and cut it out.
Uh-oh.
You
The
know,
other Chris
froze.
seems like buffering.
We'll go ahead and show it again.
And
real
so
quick.
we've got Kris with Tinkir Workshop on tonight, and we were just talking about the pick guard. Maybe eventually his camera will unfreeze, and there he goes. Maybe, I don't know.
no.
We'll see.
Can you hear me?
Barely here. Yeah, there we go. You're moving now.
He moved.
That's
it's like
what
is it called? Pick motion or stop motion camera.
Stop motion. Yeah, I see a hand.
Yeah,
I
we
see
got
5 fingers.
We got stop motion going on.
Well, technically,
and welcome to the
thumb.
broadcast.
Yeah,
you know, at least it doesn't sound like Max Headstrom tonight. So
we had that comment. It's like watching Max Headroom.
Yeah, there we go.
But nothing like listening to it from Joel Crawford.
Yeah.
Still got the hand. Oh, now we're back. He's changing
settings. He's punching buttons.
You know, live streams. This is how it works. It happens.
All right, you got me?
Yeah, now you're crystal clear. Look at you go.
Beautiful.
All right. So, pick guard.
Yeah,
and I had a question about the pick guard.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you reverse engineered it, and your friend got the color that he wanted. That's kind of where we got to. And then the holes. How did you go about drilling those holes? Did you do that on the CNC?
I did. Yeah. So I went through, and this takes. I don't know. I'm sure there's a trick to figuring out how to do that chamfer. But I kind of just do trial and error sometimes. So I took a blank section of, that I wasn't going to cut and figured out just whatever my depth with my 90-degree V-bit would be. But I just went through with like a little 16th end mill, cut out the actual diameter, and then I went back with the V-bit and just kind of plunge drilled those to get the countersink on them.
Perfect. Yeah, because Kris just had a video on YouTube that he posted all about drill bits or drilling holes.
Mm-hmm.
And
I actually really like that video because I've definitely had a hard time drilling and didn't know there was a specific one that I could use on the CNC. So that was very helpful.
Yeah, I like the full range of all the bits, the speeds, everything, sizes. It kind of, you could see, it almost looked like a grid because you could see where there was this perfect line of symmetry where everything was good to go.
Yeah.
Until you get to the 1/2 inch bit, and then you got to make some serious changes in your settings. But I expected that. But you're traveling into the unknown here. There's wild wilderness, and there was nothing out there. So you're like, all right, I'll figure it out. And if I don't, then I'll put it on YouTube anyway and say, whatever you do, don't do that.
That was probably me when I first started doing the branding irons. I definitely went through a lot of bits for sure.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's all a learning curve.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else?
That's the fun part of it.
That's right. Other than the expense of that learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I've cheated on the CNC with drilling in things where I wasn't exactly sure. I just do a slight tick mark with a V-bit and then come back and hand drill it later. And, that usually works out okay if I'm not sure what size hole I'm going to need.
That's true.
Unless it's plexiglass, which just epically failed me because it chunked out. But hey, it's only money and time. I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, only money and time. Yeah. Mr. Sterling Davis asked, could that be done on a scroll saw? He's asking for a friend.
The pick guard, I'm assuming?
Sure.
I mean, why not? I mean, you could take the old one, stick it on top of your blank and trace it, cut it out on the bandsaw, drill your holes. I mean, absolutely. I mean, that stuff's not very, I mean, it's maybe 3/16 thick. That'll cut like butter on a bandsaw. Go for it.
What's the material?
It's plastic.
Okay.
It's a layered plastic. So if you look at around the edges and inside those chamfers, you'll see a layer of the blue, and then I think it's a white, black, white. They come. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, white, black, white. They come in all different styles.
We've got Mr. Amana watching tonight. So what we need to tell him to do is come up with a flush trim O-flute bit.
Mm.
An upcut flush trim O-flute bit. You'd sell dozens.
Yeah.
$1 million in design and R&D, you would sell dozens of them. It might be more, because honestly, that's
Yeah.
what I would do if someone brought me a pick guard. I would take the old one, cut my new one slightly larger, and figure out what flush trim bit's going to leave me the best edge.
The only problem I see with that, at least specifically with a pick guard, is that 45 chamfer on the outside comes all the way down to the bottom. So your edge is very thin to where you'd be able to get that bearing or that riding surface.
Well, see, you can make a
Just be
template from the
careful.
original and use the template with the bearing would ride on your template.
There you go.
But
let's see here.
A good tip too for anybody that's wanting to do something like that. I particularly like to scan whatever it is scan it to a PDF, and you'll get a perfect one-to-one sizing. It's worked flawlessly for me for years.
Mr. Amana, as we call him now, he said, send me an email on that. He'll forget by Monday because he's semi-retired, so he's not going to be back to work for a while till Monday.
That's okay. I'll just call Frank and make it happen.
Oh, ouch! You had to go there.
I'll still send you the email. I'll copy you when I email Frank. Yeah,
copy you.
Yeah. I was talking to Chris last night. He said you can make this happen, Frank. We want a no-flute bit with a bearing on the end.
Oh, did he now? I can hear him. I can so hear him.
Yeah.
All right. So if you have an old pick guard, what about a pattern bit? Asked John.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just talked about that.
I thought so, but I just thought I'd throw it up there.
It's doable for sure. Like Chris said, you can make a template from it and follow that, or just be really slow and careful, and try and use it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much kind of same idea, Sterling. Just if you add a bearing to the bit,
Yep.
That's a great idea, Sterling. We should have thought about that 5 minutes ago.
Oh, well, there could be a slight delay. I don't remember what I have it set to. Wouldn't that be interesting to find out?
Or you just scan it.
But great minds think alike. Yep. Or you could do what you did and just figure it out and cut it all out on the CNC. You don't have to worry about anything.
There you go.
Just walk away and come back. You know what I do like about it? It looks like ice cubes.
It does. It's really cool. I mean, in person, it looks even better.
Yeah, cameras don't do that stuff justice.
No.
So we got a few more pictures here. Real quick, our redneck engineering of the month. This is a lawnmower on what looks like 2x4s and a picnic table.
Yep. That is an accurate statement.
Were you sharpening the blades?
I was removing the blades to sharpen them up.
Now there's a story behind this, and our people who watch would remember this gentleman from a few weeks ago. So feel free to share the story if you like. The bus is backing up.
I honestly, I can't remember. So Zach, Southern Ginger Workshop, I feel like he had posted something super sketchy, or we kind of go back and forth, and I kind of decided to up the ante with the sketch factor, and grab a couple 2x4s and run my lawnmower up to hop under there and get the blades off.
I think it works just fine. I mean, as long as it holds.
It holds.
So now that Chris has left again, and I noticed John had made this comment, and we had talked chamfer on that last bit. So we have to ask the question that we ask everybody: are you team chamfer or team roundover? For yourself personally, something that you would pick one over the other.
So if you asked me this probably 2 or 3 years ago, I would say team roundover. But I have definitely switched to team chamfer.
That's a good man right there.
I did a really big cutting board for it was actually for a fundraiser, And I was like, I'm going to do some really big chamfers on this, and it looked amazing. And ever since then, I mean, I personally, I love geometric shapes and all of that. So the sharp corners is definitely something I'm a fan of.
I'm glad I wasn't here for that conversation because all I heard when I was leaving was Team Chamfer.
And we'll show it one more time. He said 2 or 3 years ago it would have been round over, but once you
Yep.
go chamfer, I'm telling you. Now on a cutting
Mhm.
board, I don't know if you did you get to use it or did you just give it away for the fundraiser?
I did not get to use it. That was given away for the fundraiser.
So one thing I found very interesting about a chamfer, and the reason I started using it more, especially on cutting boards, is that the juice will stop at the line, even if you sand it. For
Hmm.
whatever reason, because of the fibers, it's almost like the water or the surface tension of the juices. They go
Like
to that line,
superhead.
they kind of just hit, and then they'll just ride along it. But if it's a round over, they'll just run right off the edge.
Well, I mean that's an easy win right there.
Yeah, that and it just bugs the crap out of Chris and JP. Yeah, he's team round over for life. You should just change your logo to a big round over with
I
a
think I'm
fox
gonna
coming
go
out of
down
it.
here and I'm gonna change Learn Your CNC to band. So,
Oh, welcome to the club.
Yes.
Kyle says Team Champer for the win. I don't even remember how that started, but it did, and it's just been fun ever since. Because I think you got like
It's
2.
good.
Yeah, Chris has got
yeah,
about 2 on there.
it's good. I think I have 2 on my team. That's about it.
You're doing great. At least you're not being picked last.
I'm an underdog.
That's right.
There you
And
go.
Story of my life.
got to check out it's Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. It's all Tinker Workshop with 2 eyes.
Yes.
Don't make the mistake I did twice while doing
And
the
if
intro. I was like, no, I.
and if you read it fast, it almost looks like Tinkerer Workshop.
Tinkerer.
There you go. And then, if you'd like to support the Whatnot Podcast, always check out patreon.com, Whatnot Podcast. And I was going to ask you, Chris, and I'll ask you, Chris, while you're here as well, just to get your opinion on it. I was thinking about doing the beforehand. That would make me have to come in earlier than the last minute thing. But if we did beforehand a little backstage and then let our Patreons in, what do you think about that? Like, would that have been a problem for you getting prepared?
No, we were prepared at 8:30. So
Yeah.
Oh, we were both here, so
So it'd be great. Okay, I'll just show up earlier.
yeah, we got you.
So did you attend this year's Workbench Con?
I did not.
Okay.
So kind of I did the 2 prior years, and my big thing for that is that Tinker pays for that to go. So, and this whole kind of past year, I kind of took a, a pretty big step back from being out in the shop. We are still in the process, really close to being finished, but adopting a little baby girl. So
Congratulations.
thank you. She's taken up my time in a good way. And so obviously I didn't do as much work in the shop to really fund making that trip. It's expensive. It's still a good time being able to network with people, but I live vicariously over Instagram through everybody that was there.
There you go. Yeah, there's a lot of good
Yeah.
photos too of a lot of
Hmm.
good people. The only reason I asked
Yeah.
is because I noticed that you were the big winner of the Carolina Boots one year.
Hmm. So funny story about that. So my day job, I work for a church. So Sunday is a Monday for me. And I only get a certain amount of those off a year. So I went to my first Workbench Con um, in 2019, and I had to be back for Sunday. So I was actually there for like a day and a half, and then I started driving back to Virginia. And I get a call because you had to put your phone number on the card from Carolina that I won these boots and to stop by the booth. And I was already 2 states away. I was like, oh no. I'm gonna lose these boots. They're like, oh, no worry, we'll email you this stuff. So they were super nice about it. And yeah, it was literally any product, any boot that they made was what I won. So I found whatever the meanest, baddest boot possible was. And I mean, I wish they still look like that. I still have them. I still wear them a lot. They're actually sitting at work because I was doing a lot of, I was grinding our concrete stage to put a new finish on it. So those boots are still going strong. I am extremely impressed by them. They have taken just about, I mean, they've done fireworks shows with me. They've done all sorts of crazy jobs, and still, I mean, there's no sign of them stopping.
Yeah, I have to agree. Hold on. Mine are in horrible shape, but mine are 2019s, and they are still. And I'm not a small guy, so usually boots wear out, the soles wear out. But I'm telling you, I mean, they're still
Yeah,
good. Like I can't put them. I have another pair that's
most
clean, but these are the spray boots now.
yeah, most shoes for me might last 6 months. So to say that I've had them since 2019 and they'll still keep going is pretty impressive in my book.
Absolutely. And this is not sponsored. We're just fans of Carolina boots. But I was
Yeah,
curious because you had won them, so you didn't buy them on purpose. You know what I mean? And then
right.
what your reaction was to them. So
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
honestly had never heard of Carolina until Workbench, which is cool. And I'm definitely a fan.
Yeah, the only reason I got into him was because of Mr. Paul Jackman,
Mm,
and I was like, okay, he's not a small guy. You know, he's tall. And so I was like,
yep,
well, if he's wearing them and he's actually legitimately saying that they're good, I was like, all right, let me try them out because I've been through 4 or 5 pairs and I'd probably say about 2 years. And it was
yeah,
starting to add up. And then it was like $150 for these and they're still going strong. So
yeah.
I just got mine last week. Can't wait to see the pictures of those, Sterling.
Nice.
Oh, look, we got JP, which was funny. He sent me a picture that he had located Mr. Ely. Yeah, they got to meet at Workbench Con. I think that was their first
Nice.
one this year. So it's
That's cool.
Kris unfortunately didn't get to go this year, but hopefully next year.
That'd be nice.
Oh, the only way Kris will get to go next year is if Kris pays for it. Trying to convince our boss to send me there to, market, but
I didn't know you were marketing.
Well, you wouldn't go,
He
so
could
I would
be.
go on your behalf to market and talk
Yes.
and
Mingle.
mingle is a good word. There was another word I was looking for, but it escaped me, so I just went with market.
Mr. Gary Jones was there the year I was there, 2020, but it was they took the Izzy Swan class together. I didn't know he had a class.
I
Very
didn't
cool.
know Izzy did a class. That's fun.
That's better. I noticed that this year it seemed like it was it seems like every year they pick a different part of that hotel, or the convention center, but this year it
Yeah,
seemed like it was in like this back corridor area that you had to walk through to 2020.
yeah,
But yeah, no, that's
yeah.
cool.
I think it looked better. Part of my background, I'm also an audio guy. So Workbench 2019 to me was terrible in the fact that it was in a giant concrete room and you couldn't hear anything that the like announcers were saying or when they did little sit downs in their main talking area. When they had the breakouts, those were in ballrooms and they were carpeted. So I was kind of happy that their main area was a carpeted area this year. Um, Better for acoustics.
Much better for acoustics, especially the ceilings in that one, because 2020 was in a large shoebox of
Yeah.
masonry.
Yep. I
It
can't
was
believe we missed
brutal.
each other.
I think I saw the shirt. I may not have known who you were at that time, so I apologize. I knew who you were after that though, because I
Yeah.
keep up with the logos and I follow people to find out what they're up to.
Cool.
But yeah, no,
Way to
I
brag,
agree.
Kyle. Jeez, I mean, just rub it in. The two Chris's couldn't go, and you want to just slap us in the face with that garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did they
Man.
give you 10% off it for you saying that for next year's tickets, or I swear they say that every year, like, oh, this year is much, and it does. It gets better and better each year, so I can't knock them on that.
I know why he's saying that. He's saying that because he wants to be a teacher for CNC Vectric next year.
He needs
that's
to be.
what it is. Yeah. Learn your CNC at the WBC.
Yeah. Oh, see, look, it even flows.
Man.
Yeah. I got you, brother. I got you.
Yeah. Send him that email so he doesn't forget on Monday either. Okay, so the final one is your shop. So what happened to your shop? Other than the
thankfully
obvious.
thankfully that's the old shop. When was that? That was 2017. We had just been in our home for maybe a year at that point, and had unfortunately an electrical fire in the shop. Thankfully we were home. I was in the house, and I looked out my window and just kind of saw something. I looked harder, and there were flames already through the roof of the thing. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I mean, it wasn't a big shop. It was probably like a 8 by 10 little wood shop. But I mean, I had everything out there, from wonderful dry wood to combustible items to highly combustible items. I had an oxyacetylene torch in there. That was real fun when that went.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised it's not more scattered than it is in that picture.
Yeah, I think it hit a pressure release because I could. It sounded like the gates of hell opening up when that thing vented off. Yeah, that was not fun. I went through by the time I got out there, I went through probably 4 or 5 fire extinguishers, and then tried the hose, and nothing was touching it. And unfortunately lost everything. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I didn't gather more images, but yeah, you had some other photos of like your chainsaw and some other equipment that didn't fare very well.
Yeah.
Is that what happened to the X-Carve?
That's what happened to the X-Carve, yeah. So that was kind of the tipping point, of the transition of the shop for sure. Of course, that all happened. That was in the end of February, top of March of 2017, which was our 10-year anniversary, and we were literally leaving the country like the week after that fire happened. So I'm like trying to go through with insurance adjusters and investigation to make figure out the cause of the fire and all that good stuff, all while trying to leave the country.
So curious, what did they come up with was the cause? You said electrical, but
yeah, their best guess was something electrical failed, and because I was in the house, I wasn't able to just initially catch it. But I mean, it was a whole. The shop was made, a stick frame shop, plus all of just the very dry woods that you're, making projects from. Dust collector full of sawdust and lots of other items that, that like to accelerate that. So it was kind of unfortunately, a perfect storm of, what could have gone wrong. So thankfully, it didn't get our house. It did bust out one of the windows from the heat, but was thankfully we were home, because that if we weren't home, we would have 100% we would have lost the house. And that was a detached building. It was probably, I don't know, 50 feet or so, 50, 75 feet from my house. But it was actually, the fire was creeping through the grass, and going towards the house. So I was out there with a hose, just keeping it wet until the fire department got there.
It's pretty amazing how fast the fire will dry that out.
It's crazy. It's one of the most intense things I've ever experienced, for sure. And now anytime anybody has a campfire or something, we've got like PTSD looking out our window.
It's understandable,
Battery
especially
chargers. Yeah.
battery chargers
Oh.
going up. Yeah, I've heard of that. And as soon as you said that, Kyle, or posted that, I'm thinking to myself, I didn't shut them off before I came in here. I had some charging going. Speaking of leaving the country, Maker Central in your plans?
I'm honestly not familiar with Maker Central. Where's that at?
That's in England. You got to check that one out.
Okay.
If you guys want to celebrate another milestone and want to go to England, there's actually quite a few maker couples that are in the maker community that went together and checked out England while they were there.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, it's a great community that way. That's what I like about it. And you're in the We Like to Make Stuff group, right?
I am. Yep.
Okay. Because I know I've seen your name a couple of times pop up, so I know I've scrolled past. Nothing you posted, but like more like comments. Because when I was looking you up, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I recognize this name and picture.
Yeah, I'm most active in like the Axiom groups. There's two groups. One that Zach had started, and then there's the more official one. So I kind of co-lead the one with Zach. So
that would be the Axiom users group, I believe.
I think it's Axiom. We specifically say owners, because it's literally just a group for owners. Which of course we always get a lot of requests for people. I'm looking for a machine and thought Axiom might be good, and I feel bad sometimes denying it, but that's kind of the whole purpose. Is it's the owners, the people that have the machines already that are trying to work through problems, and rather than, I think the other group is perfectly fine for is this what I want kind of deal.
Yeah, they've already taken the plunge. They've already committed to the product, so helping them out specifically really kind of cuts down on the beginner questions as well. That's the other thing, is that you always have the same beginner question over and over, and people forget there's a search feature.
Yeah, it's no hard feelings.
It is what it is. What about Extravaganza 2022?
October 21st and 2nd.
You know what? I have to admit, I didn't think about it, but this guy's got a point. Sweet mother of God, it's the perfect evolution of beards. That is great, Polar Nights. Thank you, sir. Lady. Gentle people.
That. I used to be down to about here.
Yeah, this it's getting longer again. I got to cut it off, but yeah, no, that's hilarious. So you have no mustache with just the Fu Manchu. You got the full beard, no mustache, and then you got Kris.
There you go.
So as far as what we know, it's planned in late October. So Kris Kirch, let me ask you this: have you heard of the Klingspor's Woodworking Shop Woodworking Extravaganza? The longest title ever for a woodworking show.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
it's marketed on a bumper sticker because the small sticker wouldn't fit at all.
He's not kidding.
Free magnifying glass with every bumper sticker.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we had a joke that it wouldn't fit on a smart car. It was too long. But yeah. So, well, that's all the pictures that I put up there. So I do apologize. I didn't have more on there. But what's your plans for 22?
I definitely really want to get back out there, really dive back into projects. I've got a couple lined up right now. Probably after Easter, I'll ramp back up. Again, my full-time job's at a church, so everything's ramping up hardcore for that right now. Just doing a lot of stuff. I handle all the sound, lights, and set design, so thankfully I get to use a lot of my skills, both at home and there. But probably after Easter, I'll get right back into it and start getting content back out and just enjoy, just have fun.
It wouldn't hurt either is your knowledge of that subject as far as the lights, the stage, the audio. There's a lot of people that need help with audio. But if there's, for instance, acoustics alone, just to tell people how to make simple room treatments. I've seen a couple of videos
Oh
start
my
popping
gosh.
out on that, but just the simplicity of just, hey, don't throw a curtain and a mattress up, but there's things you
Right.
can do. That
Yeah,
would be good
absolutely.
content.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
For sure.
definitely never call it that for short. I've gotten backlash on that before. Yeah, the KWS EX22. I tried that. That was bad. Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with that.
It's great because of the hyphen. And if it didn't have that, then it'd just be funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. Oh, wait, never mind. That's horrible. Yeah. Welcome to the club on that.
Something tells me you knew it was horrible before you hit enter to post it.
Yeah, he definitely did. Why even leave the 20 out? Just go ahead and throw the 20 in there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that'll be good. So you can find you on YouTube, on Facebook, and Instagram at the Tinker Workshop. I'll throw that banner up real quick. Sorry to interrupt you, Kris. Go for it.
No, go for it. Keep on rolling.
Well, I was going to ask, would you, if you have time later, maybe like to come on back and talk about sound and acoustics and video and things that a lot of people who might be watching this or listening to this or wanting to do more content, it wouldn't have to be more professional and industrial like what you probably experienced there, but on a smaller scale, some tips to help people get into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be
Matter
great.
of fact, because we're in the process of doing that through our day job in a room that's still under construction that we're going to turn into video, right? Hopefully it'll eliminate some of that echo that we're getting from the concrete and the brick wall.
Yeah. Most
Stuff.
definitely.
We got to
go ahead. Sorry.
Well, we got to ask the hot seat question.
Yes, we do.
We didn't even ask the hot seat question.
I was going to let you ask the hot seat question. That's why I was leading into it. Like, hey, he's in all these things and yada, yada. This is how professional we get. Look, he's already down on the drink. He's like, I'm done. This is out. I'm out.
If I finish this before you ask it, we're through. I'm just cutting the mic out and the camera's gone.
See, look, Sterling would sorry to interrupt you. Sterling would like more help with sound issues. Absolutely. There's so many. There's so much. There's so much. Anyways, go ahead. Hot seat question.
So what we like to ask our guests and is this wasn't like hot seat. It wasn't too bad. Hopefully it was a little more conversational and sharing sort of things you're enjoying and all that. We challenge you to think of someone and maybe recommend them to either come on show with us and talk about it. And you don't have to give an answer now. I don't put anybody on the spot.
Okay.
But think about it and maybe message them to message us or message me to message them and let them know, hey, this is who you recommended, and we'll reach out and touch base and maybe we'll go that route. So just definitely a way to share the wealth and get someone else on here to put them under the lights.
Yeah,
literally
absolutely.
You're under the lights, so that worked out perfect. So
oh, look at you go. Yeah, it's fun to try to do it that way. I'm looking at the screen.
I know,
Mike is over there. Chris is down there. I got it this time.
Hey, you did get it this time. I get it wrong every time.
Well, I kind of I nudged my shoulder so I could kind of keep an eye on it.
He's got a little trick.
I see it. That is smart. So I did. I'll cover this real quick. So that whole KWS thing, I had KWS Extra 18, and then when I went to post that, it was like Sextra. I was like, nope, it's got to go. That was an instant, like, just delete that whole post. Because he was saying that honestly, he didn't think about it when it didn't even dawn on me until after I hit enter. Anyhow.
Sure.
So the hot seat for sure is fun. I would like to have you back on as far as audio stuff, just in general, maybe give people an idea. It's amazing how simple something as, 3.5 millimeter to 1/8 inch, just the terms, just give them terms and what to look for and feedback. That's another thing I see a lot of people having issues with their echo, but just simple things that if they're trying to film videos in, we'll see you later. Have a good one. No, I'm just kidding.
Nope.
if they're trying to film in their house and they're editing and they're noticing the sound or something like that, like maybe we can have them kind of give us some questions prior to as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it'd be
Would
fun.
love
So
to share on that.
We'll do that after Easter when you're not as busy.
That'd be great.
Cool. All
Yeah,
right. Well,
we like to wait till you're done with your busy stuff, and by then you'll be, hopefully the adoption will go through and everything will be good to go and set in stone there. So
yeah, we're hoping maybe by May that'll be all finalized. So yeah, we're excited.
Well, I wish you the best in that, because I know that is not an easy task. It's not an easy process.
No,
so
but worth it for sure.
Yeah.
Well, as a dad to 3 daughters, good luck.
Thank you. If you got any, let's have a conversation about that.
we would need a 2-episode series for that at least to cover all that.
Oh man,
daughters are different.
Daughters
love
are different,
them, but they're different.
Yep, absolutely.
And they know how to cut you to the bone, making it look easy. That's what I've learned. Yeah,
it's that look.
Oh yeah. You thought her mom was bad.
No. After about 5 or 6 or 8 years, you learn the tricks and you callous over. So the look irrelevant. Time that third one came along, it was like, yeah, whatever. Just get up off the floor.
Get up off the floor. Oh. Anyhow, all right. So let me get this ready. But yes, I appreciate you coming on, taking the time to be with us tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
I rescheduled,
for having me.
by the way.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to reschedule, right?
Yep. He was one of the you were one of the no. Yeah. Yeah, you were one of the reschedules. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you did scheduling.
Yeah, well, being down a month, 3 weeks with COVID and then out of town, it made it interesting rescheduling some of the top name talent like Tinkir Workshop.
Just glad he decided to join us. He wasn't like, oh yeah, these guys are unprofessional. They have to reschedule 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming down and visiting with us on this chat line here or whatever is.
And thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Go check out Tinker on any of those platforms and follow, like, subscribe, whichever platform you're on, and learn a little something.
Fun things.
He's got a lot to teach you.
Things. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. There we go. All right, so this has been the Whatnot Podcast, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. I'm Mike Z.
I'm Chris, and this is Chris.
Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.